This is Ruscar5956, and it's gonna be a little while before I get my next episode of my All Bindings Helmont playthrough. I tried fighting Hollow Knight early, and that was a mistake. Anyways, what I'm gonna do instead is rank every single Hollow Knight charm to my own liking. Also, we're gonna quickly add in an F tier here because I think Tierlist should have that. But yeah, we're just using the basic Hollow Knight like charm template that you can find on Tier Maker for this. Anyways, first thing we're gonna look at Baller Shell. Okay, so Baller Shell is extremely niche in its use, and it's also like it's not just situational; it's niche. There's like one or two. Even that, yeah, no, Baldur Shell is, it's not quite F tier, because F tier is, like, useless, but it's D tier. It's next to useless. Carefree Melody is pretty much in the same boat as, Baldur Shell, because I can't, only use it I can think of for Baldur Shell is trying to do, like I said, very niche challenges. For instance, you can technically complete, Radiant Umu with only Thorns damage to damage the Umos. If you pair it with Carefree Melody and Baldur Shell. So Carefree is gonna go here. I would put it higher if it didn't cost 3 charm notches, but it does. Also, it's RNG for when it activates. So, yeah. That's in the exact same boat. Alright then. And then Dash Master. Okay, so Dash Master, when paired with Sprint Master, it makes you move faster, which is great. Like, a lot faster. It does not have any base movement on its own. And other than that, it kind of just lets you dash more often. I guess it also lets you dash down, but that's more of, that's not really anything worth noting at all, unless it's a bad thing. But anyways, we're going to put this in C because honestly, you're probably going to be able to use it more often than something like Carefree or Baldur Shell, but it's still very specific. It isn't anything like terrible to have equipped though. It's more of there's this really weird skip you want to do. Alright, here you go. Alright, and then Deep Focus. Alright, Deep Focus is a healing charm. Healing charms, I think all 3 of the healing charms are pretty good. 4 if you include Shape of Un. Deep Focus Strength. It lets you save soul when healing. It also allows you to get 2 heals off in certain situations where you normally wouldn't be able to, due to the gap between focusing on one heal and the focus on the other. It ends up, it basically allows you to have control between the 2 heals more easily. Or not between, but after you heal twice. Its biggest downside is the fact that, yeah, it does take a little bit more than twice as long to heal. But again, that averages out because of, yeah. Anyways, it is 4 notches though. That's the other downside to it. However, I think it is a really good healing charm. If you know when to heal, you can use it. It does require a little bit, okay, not a little bit, a lot bit more skill, but we're gonna put this in B tier. Anyways, Defender's Crest. Yeah, Defender's Crest goes in D tier. It's gonna go at the front of D tier though. Yeah, the only use for it is for the Lost Kin balloons, and even then, I think that the Weaverlings are better for that. Alrighty then, Dream Shield. Holy cow, I'm putting a lot of charms in D tier. Yeah, Dream Shield is also D tier, and this one goes in the back of D tier. It costs 3 notches. It's you don't know. It goes between. There we go. Yeah, no, it's 3 notches for a shield that does nail damage. Okay. Don't know why you want that, because you're going to have to be trying very specifically to hit things with it. Not just that, but let me think here. Oh yeah. Its functionality of blocking things doesn't even work very well because it's small and doesn't rotate fast enough. Yeah, no, that stays down there. Alright, Dreamwheeler. Dreamwheeler, I'm instantly putting an A tier, and here's why. Okay, it's not an S tier charm because, yes, it's a one-notch charm that you could probably add to any build. However, here's the thing with it. You aren't always going to be using Dream Nail, and there are a lot of cases where it's just, like I said, you're not going to use it, it's just not going to happen. It's kind of a thing that's nice to be there, has no downside to it, except for the fact that, you might want to switch out the slot with something else due to a charm combo that you found. The only other, if I were to try and think of, no, that's the only really thing bad with it. It's just, again, it's not good enough to be S tier. And then we have Fluke Nest. Now, Fluke Nest I'm also going to put in A tier because this one's different, though, because 80 is extremely good. It's good enough to go into S tier, especially if you've seen people speedrun with it. Especially in, what's it called? Especially in the Pantheons. However, the thing is that it is incredibly awkward to use. And you could put in, oh, if it takes a lot of skill to use it, then shouldn't deep focus be lower? No, it's not the same kind of a difference, because with deep focus, you just have to know how the bosses work and know when to dodge and when it's actually safe to heal. With Fluke Nest, it's okay, so it's incredibly good, all that stuff. However, even at a high level, it is awkward to use. And there are all sorts of ways that, even when you know what you're doing, that slight misinputs can make it not do what you want it to. So, yeah. Alright, next we have Fury. Now, Fury I'm putting in B tier. The reason why is because it's good, right? But it's situational. Not as situational as something like Dashmaster, but it's still pretty situational. Also, it requires a lot of skill to use. Alright, whatever, just gotta get good. But beyond that, there's the fact that when you're at 1 HP, there's a certain stress added to, oh god, I can't get hit. And even if you're doing massive amounts of damage to bosses, there's still the fact that that stress is there. Also, it is way harder to actually, focus with that kind of stress. Yeah, so is it good? Yeah, it's absolutely busted. But the fact that you have to be at 1 HP for it, I think brings it down a tier, and also the fact that it's honestly not something you're going to have in every single build, especially considering that Radiant bosses exist. Alright, next, Gathering Swarm. Now, Gathering Swarm is hard to rank because it is a utility charm. I am gonna try and rank the utility charms, though. Where would I put Gathering Swarm? Honestly, Gathering Swarm is probably C tier. It's one not. It's situational. It's not good. It's not bad. Yeah, it gets a C tier. Glowing Womb. God, no. Okay, so Glowing Womb doesn't do enough damage. It takes up 2 notches, which is somehow too many already. At 2. It takes up your soul. You don't have a say in it. I mean, the only good thing about Glowing Womb is, it doesn't stagger bosses when it hits them, I guess. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Glowing Womb is just hot trash. Anyways, Grimchild. Grimchild is better than Glowing Womb, but that's not saying much. Grimchild is still incredibly bad, and honestly, actually, you could switch them up dependent on which one you want to do, because Grimchild's gonna be... Yeah, no, Grimchild's worse, because it's gonna be doing less damage, and it'll wake stuff up from staggers. Yeah. Yeah, Grimchild's a no-go. Anyways, Groverfly's Elegy. Groverfly's Elegy has the opposite problem of Fury, where you have to be at full health, which actually makes it less useful. I'm going to put it in C tier, though, which is purely because of its synergies with Fury and its synergy with Grubsong. It does half your nail damage, though, which is not a lot. And as somebody who mainly has played with Hellmod, I can tell you that doing half nail damage is, yeah, it takes forever for it to actually, like, do something. Now that said, if you're playing with that mod, it is pretty good because you've doubled your nail damage with it, but, yeah, we're not talking about playtime with that mod. We're talking about the charm itself in base game. It's, yeah, it's not very good, but because of its synergies, it's like, I guess it can be bumped up a notch. Which brings up to Grubsong. Yeah, Grubsong is A tier. Getting Soul when you get hit, plus plus one of the major parts of the infinite heal combo. Yeah, A tier. A tier. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, it is only... one second. Alrighty, I'm back. Anyways, of course that part's gonna be cut out, but, yeah, just got a scam call. Gotta love it. Anyways. Oh, where were we? Alright, so Grubsong, it does only give 10 soul, every time you get hit, but still, that's one notch giving you a, basically giving you forgiveness for being hit without any downsides. Yeah, that's A tier. Doesn't even take skill to use it. Alright, Heavy Blow. Alright, so Heavy Blow has its use. But it is incredibly situational, and you are always going to be equipping something else over it. Is it useless? No. It's pretty damn close, though. So it's going to the back of D tier. Anyways, with that, we now have High Blood, which is not quite the same boat. Now, I'm putting this in B tier, and it's actually for similar reasons to Deep Focus. High Blood is good to think of it like a different version of Deep Focus. It's a different way to get 2 heals off with only 1 time of focusing. Hear me out. Okay, so you let it heal you, right? Takes a while, yes, I know. But if you understand the boss patterns and whatnot, or Coliseum is a really good place for it too, then you can get that HP back. If you get hit twice and you heal once, that's still fine because you can focus after that. Double damage boss, that's fine. Have it heal you, and then you only need to focus once to get the damage, or the health back. Anyways, alternatively though, if you do just heal it against single damage stuff, it's infinite healing as long as you don't get hit in between the healing times. Which, granted, I know, it's a while for it, it's hard to do that. But it is still bearable, and like I said, there's situations in which it's really good. I highly suggest using High Blood when doing the Coliseum trials. That said though, we're now moving to a charm which I think everybody can agree with me is useless, F tier. Joni's Blessing. The only purpose to it is for story related stuff, and we're not counting that. Or not story related, you have to open a door with it basically. It makes it easier instead of getting Lifeblood cocoons. I'm not counting that. Anyways, Joni's Blessing, let's see here. It gives you the same effect as Lifeblood Heart. Not Lifeblood Heart, Lifeblood Core, which is the thing you need to get with it. Why didn't they just make it be upgraded? Anyways, give you the same effect, but it costs an extra notch. Oh, by the way, also, you can't heal your HP back if using it. But wait a minute, what about its synergy with High Blood? I'm sure nobody actually asked, but I'm going to answer that question anyways. That synergy is the stupidest thing to exist. So High Blood is at least bearable with how long it takes to heal. With Joni's, it takes like twice as long, maybe longer. Like, you're not, yeah, if your goal is to have a ton of HP and you want to be able to heal it back with Joni's, yeah, that's not happening. If you need that much HP to begin with, you're probably not able to dodge long enough for High Blood to take effect. Anyways, next thing is King Soul. King Soul is... I mean, honestly, I think it's C tier. Like, yes, it costs 5 notches, but it does give you soul. Yes, it's incredibly slow, but also you're not going to have it for very long, and if you do have it, you're probably using it for something stupid. I'm sure there's also probably skips you could do with it. I don't know why you're trying to do skips at that point in the game, but I don't know, maybe you've got a weird, wacky playthrough going. Yeah, so anyways, that's C tier. I don't know what to say about it, though. It kind of just exists. Like, you don't really play around with it much outside of randomizers, so... And this is supposed to be for base game. So, yeah. Yeah, that's going there. Anyways, next thing, Lifeblood Heart. Lifeblood Heart. Yeah, this is kind of just... Again, it exists. I'm putting it in C tier. It's literally just fragile / unbreakable heart, but not quite as good. Because you can't heal the extra 2 HP back, and it costs the same amount. It's kind of just good if you find it at the point of the game that you're at, or if somehow you run across a skip that requires damage tanking. Although maybe I should stop thinking about so many skips, because a skip that required damage taking that requires you to have Lifeblood Heart equipped means that you haven't gotten Fireball, which means that you either did Long Nail, Baller Skip, or Minimal Item Shade Skip, possibly itemless. Yeah, anyways, ignoring the fact that I'm thinking about random stuff like that, yeah, Lifeblood Heart is staying C tier. Anyways, Lifeblood Core. Lifeblood Core, I would say, is B tier, though. It's 3 notches for 4 extra Lifeblood. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but I would say it's good enough to be B tier. I would not see myself equipping it often, but I think I had a couple of times in Ascended Hall of Gods. Not Radiant, but doing it Ascended. Although that was, oh god, that was like over a year ago, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I don't remember that very well. But yeah, it's a solid charm. Anyways. Now for Long Nail. Long Nail. You know what? Long Nail is A tier. No. No, Long Nail is... I think Long Nail is the top of B tier. Also, I'm gonna move around some terms a little bit. Yeah, there we go. B tier is looking how I want it now. C tier is just gonna say jumbled up because I don't know how to rank it. Anyways, B tier. Why does Long Nail go in B tier? Well, it's the length thing. It gives you better safety. I mean, it gives you better safety and the ability to hit certain things, not a lot, but certain things where you wouldn't be able to before. It's not a huge increase, but it's an increase. It's enough of an increase that you can notice it. Just barely though. So, but then Mark of Pride. Now Mark of Pride is A tier. Now why is Mark of Pride A tier? Because it is much better than Long Nail. And while it does cost 3 notches, oh well, it's 3 notches. You can still balance your build around it. Yeah. Mark of Pride, you know what? No. I'm willing to put Mark of Pride in S tier. It's something that you could have in any build if desired. It's not just the fact that you could have it in any build if desired. It's the fact that it gives you such a large amount of added safety that, like, yeah, I could see this being in any build. Okay, granted, you're not going to put it in speed builds, but still, as far as that goes, I think when it comes to safety versus speed, that's too much of a difference, and things get, yeah. Anyways, next thing, Nailmaster's Glory. Nailmaster's Glory is also going, no, it's going in A tier. It's going at the top of A tier, though. It's 1 charm notch for quick nail arts. Now, If you have strength plus quick slash, it's probably not going to matter about the quick nail arts. But it is one notch for quick nail arts, which are pretty powerful and give you really good reach. Cyclone Slash has extended reach. Great Slash has extended reach. Granted, it's not quite as much in front of you, but it is above you that it matters for. And Dash Slash is really good for hitting things slightly away from you. Yeah, it's just solid charm all around. Nothing bad about it. Costs one notch. And can use it in pretty much any situation. Alright, next up though, we have Quick Focus. Yeah, Quick Focus is going in A tier. It's actually going above Grub Song. Why? Because it's kind of the brain dead healing charm. No, it's going behind Grub Song. It's kind of this brain dead healing charm that lets you get away with heals in places you really shouldn't. Also, if paired with Shape of Un or with Deep Focus, it lets you zoom. Or not zoom, it lets you heal double at regular speed or zoom when you're a slug. There we go. I didn't mix up my words there. Anyways, yeah. That's for inputting A tier. It doesn't really have any downgrade except for the fact that it makes you more prone to kinda, try and heal in places you shouldn't. Which, yeah, basically it's the I don't want to learn how to heal charm, which I suppose should make me knocked down a notch, but okay, you know what, whatever. I'm not gonna do that. I haven't done that with anything else, so, yep, Quick Focus, A tier. Next is Quick Slash. Quick Slash is S tier. I don't know how to use it, though. But yeah, basically it allows for, I don't remember what it is. I think it's like triple damage output, something like that, if you use it properly. Yeah, that's going in S tier with no downgrades. Yes, it's 3 notches, but again, whatever. It could be 4. In my opinion, it should be 4, but it's not, which, yeah, S tier. Yeah, you could have that in any build. Safety build or speed build. And actually, because of that, it goes above Mark of Pride. And then we have Shaman Stone. Yeah, Shaman Stone is also an instant S. More powerful spells, it's useful at any point of the game. Okay, yes, it isn't useful for spell lists, but Quick Slash isn't useful for nail lists. So those kind of counteract each other, and so aren't going to be into account. But it's 3 notches for a huge increase to your damage. It doesn't have any effect given to it from nail binding. It's useful in both speedrunning and casuals play. Not just for regular speedrunning routes, but also for speed kills with bosses. It's a busted charm. Anyways, it should also be 4 notches. That said, Shape of Un. Shape of Un I also think should be an extra notch. Yeah. No, we're going to put it in A tier. The top of A tier. Why? It's the healing charm that can even be used in hateless boss fights. Yeah. Besides the fact that it's the one of the other things you pair with Balder Shell and Carefree for that one stupid challenge I mentioned at the beginning. It's the fact that with let's look at its synergies as well. Let's see here. I mean, you could pair it with High Blood. You use it for a little bit. Basically use it, switch it from a healing thing to a dodging thing. Just don't heal all the way with it. Or do, doesn't really matter. Just let High Blood take care of that. Or wait until High Blood is about to be done, and then there you go. But anyways, it allows for healing in places where you normally can't. It's not like Quick Focus, though. You actually have to learn where the places are, but it's pretty easy to do. That said, though, it also lets you go under things even, again, when you're not healing. You just have to be focusing, and you're good there. Also, it pairs with Deep Focus in such a way to where it lasts longer. Which Normally, that's the biggest gripe about Deep Focus, is the fact that it takes forever to heal, but with Shape of Fun it's actually good because it allows you to dodge things that you normally can't while healing at the same time, and you have the extended time for it to make sure that you don't do anything stupid. Yeah, I used to put Shape of Fun in S tier, but honestly it's going in A tier just for the simple fact that as far as hit list goes, it's not quite as good. Still usable, and still able to be used for a lot of dodging. It's a huge safety thing, but not quite as good as other things. Not quite as good as the stuff in S tier. It is at the very top of A tier, though. It is barely not S tier, in my opinion. Alright, and after that, we have Sharp Shadow. Yeah, Sharp Shadow is going... Honestly, it's... Okay, so it's... No, it's not D tier. It's like bottom of the barrel C tier. Because, hear me out. Okay, it is incredibly situational, but you can at least name its uses. Pure Vessel, Trader Lore, you want to speedrun Path of Pain for some reason, you absolute lunatic. Anyways, yeah. It's not like... There's better options than it, is basically what it boils down to. Also, it gives you a really awkward dash, because if you've got your Shade Cloak up, it's a long dash. If you don't, it's a regular dash. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of just a weird and situational charm. I said, moving on to Soul Catcher. Soul Catcher I'm putting in B tier. But where in B tier? Honestly, I'm gonna put it between Long Nail and Deep Focus. And the reason why is because, no, it's not terrible. When you pick it up at the first part of the game, you have a reason to use it. However, Soul Twister is better. Let's be honest. But anyways, that said, it's not terrible. It lets you heal or cast a spell slightly faster. It can also be paired with all the rest of the charm stuff in order to cheese radiant bosses by just de-darking over and over again. But we're talking about the charm itself. Yes, synergy should be accounted for, but not an entire build. Yeah, anyways, that brings us to Soul Eater. Okay, let's be honest. Soul Eater, it's going at the top of C tier, but yeah, Soul Eater is kind of one of those things that, okay, if you have one slot left and you're overcharming, yeah, equip Soul Eater. Well, not always the case, but if you're wanting extra soul and you have one slot left and you're overcharming, that's a good charm to equip. But in most cases, you're going to have it in a build with Soul Catcher, Shaman Stone, and Soul Twister as well. So yeah, Soul Eater is kind of just one of those situational things. It's, you know, no, it'll go in the bottom of B tier, because it's situational, but it's not trash. And it's a little bit less situational than the rest of the stuff in C tier. Anyways, moving on to Soul Twister. Yeah, this one lets you cast spells a lot faster. Paired with Grubsong Grubberfly's Elegy, granted that's a 6-notch synergy, but that allows you to cast a spell every time you get hit, or I think like one under, something like that. Anyways, yeah, that's going in A tier, and actually that's going at the top of A tier, because it's just so good. It also lets you cast a lot more spells at once, which can also be used for all sorts of crazy skips too, which is really cool. So if you're playing and you're doing some weird wacky playthrough, it's also good for that. Anyways, after that we have Spore Shroom. How do I rank Spore Shroom? Spore Shroom is good. Especially with some of the jank with some stuff. But it's situational. I'm just gonna put it in the middle here. Yeah. It's I don't know what else to say about it. It's not terrible. It's not good. It's not great. It's kind of somewhere between average and situational. Not niche, but yeah. Um Anyways, now for Sprint Master. Where is Sprint Master gonna go? Sprint Master is like Dash Master, but honestly, you're gonna use it more, so there. It's much more casual friendly, and let's be honest, you're probably gonna equip it if you're traveling the overworld. Because of that, actually, we're just gonna put it in B tier because yeah, you're probably gonna have that on you whenever you're trying to go massive distances in the overworld, if you can. So. Anyways, now we have Stalwart Shell. Stalwart Shell is going... Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever equipped Stalwart Shell. And I have like 1,000 playtime hours. So... Yeah. I'm gonna take a Loki's word on it and put it... Okay, I'm not putting it in S tier. I'll put it right here. Gives you more invincibility frames. That synergizes with things really well. Especially with healing charms. Yeah. Steady body. I don't want to rank steady body. I don't like using it. Okay, you know what? Steady body is A tier. I'm gonna put it in between Nail Masters and Shape of Fun. It's A tier. You could say, oh, just walk forward, but no, it's not quite the same. There's places where the lack of knockback actually saves you, like, a lot, and it allows for more safety with speed, if that makes sense. It pairs greatly with Quick Slash. You're probably almost always going to have it with Quick Slash, especially since its biggest use is Pantheon 5 speedrunning, at least that I've seen. Yeah, it's kind of one of those charms that if you like it, you really like it. If you don't like it, you are probably never equipping it. When I started out the game, I loved it, but then I stopped knowing how to use it, and due to the amount of all binding stuff that I've done, I just, oh god, I cannot switch back and forth between steady body and not steady body. That's one of the biggest problems with it. Steady body, I think, is really hard to rank because, yes, it's a really good charm. It definitely deserves to go in A tier, but it's so dependent on playstyle, and it honestly is going to be kind of niche and situational at the same time, depending on where it's at. But you also always want to have it on. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it how it is right now. Anyways, almost called the Shape of Fun. Thorns of Agony. Okay, I've used it before. The only point the Thorns of Agony in base game is to beat bosses with Thorns damage only. Does that buff where I put charms like Carefree and Baller Shell? Yes, it does. Because it makes it be to where if you're doing that stupid challenge, it's actually bearable. But as far as the challenge itself, it's something that's not getting pushed up just because it's do it with this challenge only. If that were the case, okay, I guess the F tier I would still have it exist because Jonies would still be useless. But, yeah, we're not counting that. That would also kind of go back to the nail only or spell only. It's too hard to put that into consideration. At least with skips, you can put it into consideration. But yeah, Thorns, yeah. If all the Thorns hit, this would be an S tier charm. No, an A tier charm because Radiant boss fights exist. But it doesn't. Usually only 1 to 2 Thorns hit. Okay? Even if you take Cloak in the middle of the boss, which is really stupid. And I don't know why it should be fixed so then it can do that. Hit all 8, although that would be overpowered. Like I said, it would be top tier charm if that were the case. If all 8 could hit, I could see it being in Pantheon speedruns. Because I think, what is it? 8 times 21, 168 damage. No, never mind. It would still take too long. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say for that case, but the way it is now, it doesn't do a lot of damage. It requires you to get hit, and it punishes you for getting hit. It's supposed to be something that helps you when you get hit, but no, it punishes you when you get hit because you have less time to react afterwards because it keeps you in an animation and doesn't pause iframes while you're in it. If it paused the iframes while you were in it, it would be D tier, but it doesn't. It's F tier. It is useless. Alright, and now greed. Greed is niche. You're gonna use it more than everything else in there. Well, okay, maybe not. The niche things that kind of have that thing going for them. But if you were to play every single possible way, you'd have more uses for greed. I mean, it's for getting money. Unbreakable greed is completely pointless, so we'll just go with fragile greed. What's the use of fragile greed? You're speedrunning the extra category for getting all 3 unbreakable charms as fast as you can. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. But hey, it's better than everything else. Also, if you do need a slight boost to your Geo because you did something stupid in your playthrough, or maybe it's your first playthrough and you just lost 2,000 Geo, alright, fine. I guess you could have it equipped there too. Anyways, going on to Heart. Fragile / Unbreakable Heart. Yeah, this is A tier. I'm not putting it above Quick Focus or really anything else there, but I'm putting it in A tier. It's a solid charm. It helps out a lot. If you're doing shell binding, it gives you a 50% increase. Yeah, it's pretty good. There aren't really any downsides to it either. I mean, it's extra HP. It's a beginner-friendly charm. It's casual-friendly. It's challenge-friendly. I mean, yeah, it's just a solid and safe-to-use charm that helps out a lot. Granted, can't use it for hit lists, but whatever. None of the healing charms can be. Except for Shape of Fun. Anyways, Strength. Yeah, Strength is S tier. I mean, it's 1.5 times nail damage for each hit. You don't have to worry about soul gain for it. And it's useful for when you don't know how to use Quick Slash. And honestly, you're probably pairing it with the other stuff up in S tier. Let's be honest. That's one of the magical things about S tier. All the stuff in S tier pairs with each other. Anyways, yeah, it's a solid charm to use. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than it's a damage buff without any really downsides to it. I mean, it's a 3-notch charm like the rest of everything in S tier. Should it be 4 notches? No. I think it is actually very balanced at 3 notches. Anyways. That now brings us into Void Heart. How do I rank Void Heart? Hold on. Okay, so Void Heart is what makes for some really stupid story requirements. It's pretty much the entire reason why it's there. It's the entire reason why King Soul exists. Which is to get it. It's, okay, outside of, since we're not including story-related reasons, Void Heart is D tier. It's like the bottom of D tier. It's not useless. It's 0 notches, though. So, like, it's 0 notches, though, so that... Okay, it's 0 notches, so it's going up to C tier, but still the bottom of C tier. It's kind of stuck on you once you get it, so oh well, but it's like, okay, what does it do? It lets you one-tap siblings and shade. Oh yay, I can one-tap siblings. That makes filling up my hunter journal easier. Hooray. Anyways, now we have compass. Oh, God. Okay, all jokes aside, compass is a good charm. It's not one I used often. I probably used it about a total of 3 times in my 1,000 hours of playtime. I think compass, granted you can say this about other charms too, quick focus, but compass is a crutch. You're not going to learn the map as well if you're using compass. There's a chance you won't actually learn it at all. There's people who have hundreds of hours of playtime who don't know the map because they always use compass. I knew the map by my second playthrough. Granted, not everything of it, but yeah, I stopped buying maps by my second playthrough. So, yeah, I mean, it does what it wants to. It does cost a charm notch, though. Which, in my opinion, honestly drags it down, because it's charm notch for just utility. And yes, you could say the same about Gathering Swarm. You could say the same about the charm notches for Greed. But those are actually giving you something extra, at least. It's helping you get more geo. Compass is kind of just helping you find your way before you know the map. But also makes it be to where you don't learn the map as fast. I'm going to put this in the bottom of B tier. It's really good, but it's way too much of a crutch. Anyways, that brings us in the last but not least, Weaver Song. Weaver Song is, yeah, that's going to the bottom of C tier. Let me explain. Okay, so it doesn't add hits to staggers. It does wake stuff up, though. Okay, dang. Wish it did one and not the other. Switch them around, but whatever. Alright, you compare it with Grub Song. This really strong synergy. They can then give you soul. They can also get them off of things that aren't just enemies sometimes. Really good. It's very specific things that they get them off of, but still. Usually going to be certain boss fights for that. Really good synergy. That's going to put a huge look into the effect with it, because if you're using Weaver Song right, you're using Grub Song with it. Other thing is, while it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, it's better than nothing. It's good for Lost Kin, for the balloons. Much better than Defender's Crest for the balloons. Yeah, trying to think of what else to say about it. I mean, yeah, like, it's good, but it's situational. It's also the only Minions charm that isn't terrible. So, yeah. Anyways, this is Restcart 5956, and this is my Hollow Knight charm tier list.